The Girl Scouts are an all-American institution, and soon they'll be celebrating their 112th anniversary. The very first troop in America was actually founded in Savannah, Georgia.
Well, hold it. Can I interrupt with a public service announcement? I'll be real quick, I promise. You all right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Girl Scout cookie season runs January through April. Just saying. Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, the Scouts were mainly a big city phenomenon at first, but that changed as time went on.
One place where that change happened was our very own Sudlersville, Maryland. And guess who's here? Jim Duffy, author of Secrets of the Eastern Shore, here with the story of the woman who brought the Girl Scouts to Delmarva, and her scouts called her Robbie? Robbie.
Her name was May Roberts.
Okay.
And at first they started calling her Captain Roberts, but she didn't like that. So she suggested they start calling her Robbie. So she's born in the 1880s.
Okay.
All right? And had kind of a privileged upbringing. She went to high school and she went to college. She got big into sports. And when she settled into her life in Sudlersville, she became a housewife with 4 children.
Okay.
So now we flash forward, we're in the mid-1920s. And at that time, as you mentioned, the Girl Scouts are primarily a big city phenomenon.
Okay.
But she decides country girls need Girl Scouts too. And she walks all over town recruiting girls, gets the first Girl Scout troop on Delmarva together for years. I don't know if it's still true, but for years and years and years, the Sudlersville troop was Girl Scout troop number 1.
Number
Now
1.
They reorganized it a little bit.
Okay.
So she does this, but she's not just any Girl Scout troop leader. She's a very special Girl Scout troop leader. So she does some home economics and self-sufficiency things,
Yeah.
but she does other things. She got the blacksmith in town to make basketball hoops, so she had the girls play basketball. One of the craft projects that she did was she had the girls take their broken down land of misfit toys, junk,
Yeah.
and they had to refurbish it and give it to poor kids.
Wow.
She was most famous for gypsy trips, which is, now you got to remember, this is the 1920s and the 1930s, so there's no interstate highway system.
Okay,
There's
okay.
nothing like that. There's no hotel chains waiting on the side of the road.
Yeah.
She would pack these girls up in a bus and take them all over the country. So they went to Niagara Falls, they went to see the Mayflower, they went to Shenandoah Valley,
Oh my goodness.
they went to the Wright brothers Kitty Hawk, they went to Kentucky to meet Man of War. They were the last visitors Man of War, the racehorse, the famous racehorse, had.
Really?
Before he died. It's in the logbook there. So she took them all over. She somehow convinced the Esso gas company
Yeah.
to give them detailed directions and trip maps and all of this kind of stuff. She would write to farmers on the route and say, I'm bringing my girls up, can we camp out on your farm? So they never stayed in hotels. They always camped out. They had all their food, they had all their gear, they put it on a bus. Their biggest trip was to Ontario, Canada. There was a set of quintuplets up there that were the first ever quintuplets to survive, and it was a big, huge media thing. She packs these girls from Sudlersville up on a bus, takes them up there. She said that it cost $1 per girl per day. That's how cheap it was. Now, if you run that through the inflation calculator to today's money,
Right.
$20 per girl per day.
Nothing to sneeze
go
at.
up. Isn't that amazing?
That's, wow.
Took them all over. She always said, I don't know if it's true or not, but she always said that she was the first Girl Scout leader in the country to do these kind of gypsy trips.
Boy, she had it going on.
I know. So all the other small towns on Delmarva, they start seeing what's going on in little Sudlersville, and they call Robbie down, and they're like, you got to help us. So she goes from town to town to town, setting up Girl Scout troops as the 1930s go into the 1940s. And then she, up by Centerville, she got these farmers to give them a campground. So it was the first campground for, and that's, I think my favorite thing. There was in one of the old newspaper articles, there was a sentence that said, always protective of her girls. Robbie slept in the tent closest to the road from Centerville in case the boys from Centerville decided to be up to no good.
That's incredible. She really had it going on.
She kept at it all the way. There were newspaper articles about her when she was 80 years old, walking 10 miles to visit her old Girl Scouts and everything like that.
That's
and,
amazing.
And she died in 1970, and she's buried up in Sudlersville, and she has a Girl Scout badge on her.
On her. How about that?
May she rest in peace.
My goodness. Jim Duffy with yet another amazing story. Thank you so much, sir, for your Secrets of the Eastern Shore authorship and visiting us as well.
Thank you very
Wonderful
much.
to talk
Always
to
a
you.
pleasure.